The neighbor next door is outside, so this is really awkward.
Bill Schieb!
Yo guys, what up? I thought I'd goof around, say a little thing or two. Sorry for missing a week. I decided I would do this outside because it's a pretty nice day today, and Bill Schieb featuring the nectar that makes you grow. So I got a couple questions. A lot of the questions were like from the same like 5 people, but screw it. I've always wanted to do a Q&A, so I'm just gonna fake my way until I make it.
I don't wanna be a loser.
I got a couple questions on Instagram, but the majority of them are from YouTube. Let's just dive right into it. Screw it.
I'm about to dive in.
Again, a lot of you asked several questions, so Shanae Phillips? She asks, what made you want to make videos and what compels you to continue? I touched on that a lot in my internet history of Bill video, more so about why I started. And to summarize that, it's just kind of, I thought I could make entertaining content and I wanted to see what it was like to release that. As far as what compels me to continue, I just thoroughly enjoy it. And it's one of the few things in my life that I'm absolutely interested and invested in. And the fact that I missed a week last week made me very, very upset. Sometimes I find myself struggling with depression and anxiety and all these other things, and this really helps distract from that. And especially if I get really meticulous and dive right into it, I spend a lot of time on every video, or at least I was before I ended up working 40 plus hours a week. Plus just the nice comments that I get from you guys and the interactions, and it's truly just a really unique thing that I never thought I would be blessed enough to do. Again, I know that almost 350 subscribers in the grand scheme of YouTube is not a big deal, but it's such a huge deal to me. And speaking of working, Mad Dog Campbell asks, how's your new shift? It's going okay. I'm in week 3 and I just got used to the sleep schedule, actually. I think Wednesday was the first night where I was like well rested. I remember going in there like, it's just great to be alive. And everybody else on third shift's like, and I'm like, hey! I really regret missing a week, but I think I really needed to. I was very overwhelmed and under-rested and not into the sleep schedule yet, and I was really pushing to do a lot in this transition, so I would say it's going better than it was before, so at least there's that. Shanae Phillips asked, how many freaking times are you going to say McCafe? As many times as I want. McCafe! Mad Dog also asks, is there any YouTuber who really inspired you? Definitely. I was a lot more invested in YouTube back when like Ray William Johnson was #1. Not saying he really inspired me, but I'm just saying that kind of gives a time frame. And like when Nigahigo was #1 for a while. I would say as far as what helped me grow the most in terms of like sketch comedy, which is what I had predominantly done, Julian Smith inspired a lot of how I attack comedy now. And also Britannic, which not a lot of people know about them, mainly because they only upload like 3 times a year, maybe. But every single one of their sketches is quality. It's all of them are funny in a specific way. They're all unique and cool, and I think that's really cool. As far as the vlog stuff goes, back then I was really inspired by Live Lava Live, or Mitchell Davis. I loved his vlog style because it was very sporadic. There was no rhyme or reason, there was no linear path, and that really would surprise you, and I thought that was very funny. So when I do my vlogs, I try to tend to be a lot more random. My editing style now is heavily influenced by probably PewDiePie's editing style. I noticed when he's talking for a really long time, sometimes the camera just closes up on his face. Sometimes it's kind of moving, and it's a great editing trick to keep you engaged when all I'm doing is talking to the camera. Lizzie Tacos asks, when's your birthday? Happy birthday? My birthday's September 5th. Mad Dog asks, can you tell us the funniest or most embarrassing stories you know? I know that in Blah Hot Topics, that is one of the topics. It's like tell a funny or embarrassing story of another member. We already filmed it, it just hasn't been released yet, so I have to think of one that isn't related to that. If you want to learn a lot about me, definitely watch the topics. I mean, you'll learn a lot about the other 3 too, but you'll definitely learn a lot about our like friendly dynamic and also stories from me, because I answer every topic too. Just a little side plug there. Yeah, well, I know one. I was working at a pizzeria when I was about 17. Not that this is one of the questions, but I wear boxer briefs now. Back then, I was just transitioning into boxer briefs. I only had boxers. Now, for the ladies that are younger and that don't know, boxers are looser. They're not tight to your body at all. And there's a fly hole that's like wide open. Whereas with boxer briefs, they're just like boxers, but they hug your thighs, and there's no open fly hole. It's kind of like a fold. Like you'd have to fold it open. This is weird. So I only had 1 pair of boxers left, and I had to do laundry. So the only pair I had left was this one last pair of boxers. So I went to work wearing these boxers, and I have a terrible habit of not checking if my fly is zipped up. awful. I don't know why. But what we had to do in that kitchen was, if the garbage was getting overloaded, we'd have to pack it down. Most people use their feet. So I remember I like reached my foot over and stepped into it and was pushing it down with my foot. And a buddy of mine came in and he was walking through the kitchen. And I'm just kind of standing there like this with my foot in. And he's a really tall dude. And I remember I'm like talking to him and I just had my foot in there. I'm like, yeah, you know, whatever. And I felt like a kind of breeze. And before I could even react, like he goes, whoa. And I'm like, what? And he goes, I don't want to freak you out, but your turtle head's poking out. And I looked down and yeah, it was my penis. And I was like, no! So, yeah, I had to face him at work every day knowing that he had seen my privates. On Instagram, Sam Jenkins asks, how are you so funny? Dude, I just do it. I just do it. Oh, and for a follow-up. I'll just do it. But no, I really appreciate that. That's super nice. I was talking with a friend who lives out of state, and she's like, oh my god, you're so funny. Everybody probably finds you so funny. Around where I live, I'm actually just kind of, I think, deemed like a loser that happens to be pretty funny. So I find it very flattering that anybody who isn't in Ohio thinks I'm great. Lizzie Tacos asks, favorite color? It always switches from something then back to blue. When I was starting this channel, it was orange. So that's why everything's orange. And then you see that I made a new intro and I was like, you guys like blue? And it always switches back to blue. I have no idea why. How do you like your coffee? A lot of cream and a lot of Splenda, not sugar. When I first started drinking coffee, I would put so much sugar in it that I had gained like 6 pounds strictly from coffee in about like 2 or 3 weeks, so I had switched to Splenda. So now I'm just getting brain cancer, no big deal. Bill, are you Will? It's funny, you'll typically get those people that are like, can I call you Will? Or they're like, can I call you William? I always say, like, you can. I can't promise that I will always respond, because I've almost never been called that. People can even call me Billy. I don't mind. I really don't mind at all. It just sounds weird when I say it. Billy. It just feels weird on my mouth. So whenever someone asks, like, hey, what's your name? I go, Bill Schieb. It just sounds easier to me, rather than, I'm Billy. I don't know. Do you play Overwatch or any other games? I don't really play online games anymore. The only online game I play anymore is like Rocket League, and that's sporadically. I wanted to play Overwatch really, really, really bad. I just never got it. But I would play it. Yeah. Heck yeah. I go through spurts of what I like. Right now I'm in a strategy game spurt, so I'm like all about Sid Meier's Civilization. Then sometimes I go through like sports games, and then I'll go through like an RPG phase. So I'm like, oh, I want to play Legend of the Dragoon on PS1 and Skyrim. Or then I'll go through like story mode phases. So then I'm like, oh, I need The Last of Us. I need Enslaved, Odyssey to the West. So yeah, it's always in spurts. I haven't had a multiplayer online game spurt in a long time. Last time I had a multiplayer spurt was like Modern Warfare 2. Like this is the most I've ever said the word spurt, by the way. Spurt, 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 spurt. Chicken or turkey? Chicken. About a year ago, I went through like a bulking cycle because I wanted to gain weight. I used to be really, really, really tiny. I weighed about 150. Right now, I weigh about 180, and I may not look super good, but I look better than I did when I was 150, in my own opinion. Like I had tiny arms, my collarbone was totally out there. So when I was bulking, I ate a lot of chicken. Kyrex asks, I'm gonna get deep here with the question because hey, why not? What is one of your biggest regrets? Ooh, great question. I try not to regret too much, because otherwise I wouldn't grow, I wouldn't learn. I don't know. I regret not learning guitar sooner. I wish I would have picked it up sooner, because I had the opportunity to learn from the age that I was 8, but out of spite or family reasons, I didn't learn until I was like 16. So I wish I would have learned that sooner. I regret not going through college, and plenty of relationships along the way. What is your favorite song? Asks Tessa. Obviously, like anybody else, it changes a lot, but for the past like 2 years, it has been the Stephen Hawking by Say Anything. I absolutely love that song. I think the lyrics are phenomenal, but the music is what catches me in that. It's a pretty slow song to start off with, but after the first hook, there's this instrumental like kind of breakdown that just gives me goosebumps. Every single time I hear it, I almost have to like close my eyes and just kind of feel it, and it just hits me in this great place.
You're the son of a black hole.
song goes through so many mood changes that it's like whatever you're feeling, it'll touch on it for a minute. Really, for me, it sends me on a roller coaster. Would you ever go to a convention, asks Kenna. Yeah, I did go to Heroes and Villains convention where I had the opportunity to meet like Stephen Amell and like the cast of Gotham, Legends of Tomorrow and stuff like that. Underscore Hannah1 asks, why don't you have a girlfriend? You're amazing. I don't get it. Which is very, very sweet of you. I don't know. Here's my number. For anybody out there who's looking for a shut-in with video editing talent and a dash of sociopath, I'm your guy.
But I need to tell you something.
Favorite cuss words? I don't know. I like the F word a lot. Isn't it funny? I'm gonna answer your questions by not saying any of the words. I think the C word is over-exaggerated. Like, it's really not that bad of a word. Favorite season? Fall. I love fall. I don't like the summer because I sweat like a mother effer. Why am I just not swearing now? I sweat like crazy. So whenever it's way too hot, I'm not into it. So fall is like that perfect time of year where usually it's like, you could not wear a jacket and you might be fine, or you could wear a jacket and you'd still be fine. Kenna asks, would you ever do a collab with a fan? And would you ever do a cover or song with a fan? It depends. I try to collaborate as much as I can. As far as the music thing goes, it's gonna sound like pompous or weird, but you'd have to be good. You know what I mean? I wouldn't just be like, let's just do this for the sake of doing it. And also, you'd have to kind of bring something to the table, I think. I would kind of hate if I had to do everything and you were just kind of in it. You know what I mean? So yeah, it depends. So the next question is, boom. Did I scare you? Not really. Oh, this is a rapid fire one. Cheyenne asks, what is the hardest time you laughed? I don't want to tell that story because I know somewhere in the bowl for Blah Hot Topics it's in there, and it is my favorite story to tell, and I would much rather tell it surrounded by my friends and that environment rather than tell you here. Tell me about your family. I have my mom, my sister, and my cousin, and that's about it. The rest of the family either doesn't really talk to us that often, or they're drug addicts or alcoholics or whatever. So a very, very small family, but we're very close. Was a guitar the first instrument you learned to play? Yeah, I wanted to learn the trumpet really bad when I was in like middle school, but again, I was already bullied enough as it was, so I remember asking my mom, like, can I join band? And this isn't to offend anybody who is in band. My mom was like, no. And I was like, why? She was like, because once you're a band geek, you're always a band geek. But that's probably one of my regrets too, is that I didn't do it because I can't read music, and that really stops me as a musician from growing. Dream Dog, a husky, gray and white with ice blue eyes. I almost had him. Almost had him. Biggest inspiration. As far as writing, the band Say Anything, I say the band Say Anything, but it's just one guy who kind of puts it all together, and that's super, it's just so inspiring to me that someone can put together such awesome music. Everything is so lyrically complex. It's my favorite part of music is the lyrics. But he's been through a lot of angst in his life. Meanwhile, I kind of haven't. The most angst I have is just like breakups. I can't write the way he writes, and I'm so upset about it because otherwise it wouldn't be genuine. And for me, my music is about honesty. I don't want to ever have to like fake something with you. Like, here's a fake struggle I went through so you can relate to it. And then as far as like videos go, just probably the YouTubers that I mentioned, those were very, very inspiring for me to be like, I think I can do this. Zalzo asks, what editing program / animation program do you use? I edit with Sony Vegas Pro. I've been learning on that for like 7 years now, I think, maybe. As far as the animation program, I use After Effects. Olivia Coop asks, are you only going to be doing vlogs and music? I still love your stuff, I just want to know. Thank you very much for saying that you love my stuff. No, I'll be doing sketches and other things too that I've been doing on the channel. Right now it's just predominantly vlogs, and I want to get more into the music stuff because it seems like you guys really, really like the music stuff. The vlogs are just the easiest for me to do because it's just me by myself and then I edit it by myself. Sketches usually involve other people, and with my terrible schedule of working all night and sleeping during the day, it's kind of harder to meet up with anybody. Bossa Novatron asks, what is your biggest fear? If anybody asks me this in public and I don't want to bring down a room, I'll be like, heights. And I am terrified of heights. Honestly, my biggest fear is being the last one to die out of everyone that I know. I am terrified I'm just gonna grow old and useless and have all this time on my hands, but all of my friends have passed away, my family has passed away, and I'm just waiting my turn, and I wake up every day like, oops, I woke up again. That is a huge fear of mine, so that doesn't happen. How are you so fabulous? Girl, I don't know. I just do it. McCafe! I love this one because Just a Default Gamer said, I'm going to question the best question that you've ever been questioned before. And so I was like, lay it. And he never left a question. Would you rather fight 5 tiger-sized pigeons or 50 pigeon-sized tigers? I was sitting with a friend when I read this question the first time, and he was like, I don't know, I'd probably go with like the pigeon-sized, and he's like, why? And I'm like, I don't know, they're smaller, I could probably just punt them. And he's like, yeah, but there's like 50 of them. He's like, plus like, what's a pigeon gonna do? And I'm like, oh, God, I'm so glad I have you here. And the last question, and the most recent one I got from MCG Family, which I know that she collaborates with Kyrex a lot, so thank you so much for checking out my channel. She's great, and you're great. I actually tuned into your guys' live stream for a little bit, and you both are a hoot. She asks, what is your favorite coffee? And how many cups of coffee do you drink a day? Now, some people have asked me why I don't drink or smoke or any of that. And as I explained before, everybody outside of like my immediate family and my cousin, they're all either drug addicts or whatever. Even my dad was. So addiction runs deep in like me, basically, and anybody else in my family, I guess. So for the longest time, even when I was a kid, I was like, I'm not gonna do anything that could be remotely addictive. Which, I mean, anything can be addictive if you enjoy it. But anyway, so I was like, I'm not ever gonna drink, I'm never gonna smoke, and I'm never going to drink coffee, because I knew that was addictive and whatever else. I tried to avoid pop and things like that. Mainly because I was always afraid that I could get hooked on these things, and I was not confident in myself enough to be like, I know when I should stop. Coffee has become my way of finding out that I would not know when to stop. Because an addiction usually roots from you associating that object with something else, whether it be happiness or a good time or whatever. So to answer the first part of your question, I love Maxwell House. That's the way I need it. I hate Starbucks coffee, mainly because I feel like I'm drinking directly out of my wallet. You pay $1 for McCafe, but you can pay $5 for Starbucks, and I swear to you, they taste the same. They taste the same. As long as you make it right, they taste the same. So how many cups I drink a day, I have, in my stupid addicted mindset, in my genes or whatever, I have associated coffee with creativity. If I need to write a song or write a sketch or film a video, I'll usually make a cup of coffee. So depending on what I have to do that day and what I want to accomplish that day, there's been days where I've had like up to 7 cups. And I remember by the end of those days, like my chest right here hurts a lot, like probably my heart specifically. My blood just feels like oil, and I'll be sweating and I'll be really scared for a moment. And I'll have not even realized that I've gone way over the limit that I should have. I try to limit myself to maybe 2 cups a day. I haven't had 3 cups in a long time, but it's probably coming up. So that was my surefire way of being like, I'm terrified if I tried alcohol, I would associate it with a good time. So even if me and my friends are having a blast, I could be like, man, if we had alcohol, this would be way better. One of these days when I'm confident enough, I'll probably try drinking more as a social thing. I'll never do drugs, and I'll never smoke cigarettes, because gross. Yeah, so I guess that was probably a good way of explaining myself as a person. And that was all of the questions. And I appreciate everybody so much who left questions. All like 4 of you. This was really cool for me. I never have a chance to do things like this, and I think it's really cool. The sun is setting. It's like right in my eyes. Yeah, thank you guys so much. And I will see you guys next Wednesday. So like, look out. Wow.
When you're looking for a low-budget outro and you don't really know what to say, you just put this little ditty at the end of your video and it'll all wrap up okay. I'm just singing like subscribe, subscribe. If you wanna, please.
It would help a lot.